Welcome, everyone. Today I wanted to talk about listening and specifically how to improve our listening skills. Most of us have heard at some point, if we're an improvised musician, that we're not listening hard enough or that we're not listening well enough to the musicians around us. And when I was a student, I found this to be a really frustrating comment because I didn't know how to improve that. And what would happen actually is I would listen in a way that was actually not helpful, listening for something to double or something to kind of hold on to, which actually would oftentimes kind of stifle the music. So today I wanted to talk about 3 different approaches that you can take in your own practice time or when you're in rehearsal or in some sort of free play situation, little tactics that you can use to improve your listening. So here we go. The first way I'd recommend improving your listening is to put on your favorite records, whether those are jazz, blues, rock or pop records, or really any kind of music you can put on. And the trick is to listen to an instrument that you haven't listened to before on that track in a way that's sort of exclusive to everything else that's happening. So if I picked like a Miles Davis record, like a Prestige era record, and they're playing Oleo or something, I might just listen to the bass the whole time, sort of at the exclusion of Sonny Rollins or Miles Davis or those beautiful solos, listening to just what's under it. And I think what this does is it kind of sharpens this skill of being able to focalize on something that's kind of under everything else, but underpinning everything that's happening and sort of causing this ground up effect. Especially with bass and drums, there's supportive elements that when we're just listening to the solo can kind of fade away. But if we learn to listen to those in a way that's really specific and exclusive, we can take that back to a music situation that we're in and have, first of all, a newfound appreciation for what these instruments are doing, but also we can be more affected by them as soloists now that we've kind of developed this auditory relationship. So find your favorite record and listen from beginning to end to the track with just one instrument, and then do another pass with a different instrument. And what you'll notice is your relationship to this track will really deepen, and you'll be able to hear all these different instruments in a much more clear way. One common thing that would happen to me when I was younger was I would get really absorbed in myself and in my own playing. Not intentionally, of course, but there were a lot of things I wanted to accomplish, sort of an agenda that would form because of all the things I was practicing and kind of all the hopes and dreams that I had for the music had me kind of sucked into just what I was doing. And again, this wasn't something I was intentionally doing, but it was hurting the music because essentially I was very wrapped up in my own playing. And I think that's a byproduct of spending a lot of time in the practice room, as we all do, and wanting certain things to manifest in the music. But that's not really how it works. Actually, the opposite is more true, where if you learn to let go a little bit of what you're playing and not pay attention to what you're playing and just focus on what is happening outside of you, more beautiful, easy things happen. So one way to go about practicing this is just to learn to play and hold a conversation with someone that's just around you and not think too much about what you're playing. Just enjoy the feeling of playing and take your attention in and out of what you're doing and what someone else is doing. And you'll find that this mode of playing, though it feels a little bit distracted, is very fluid, and you're not overthinking what you're playing. Now, if there was someone here, I would hope that they could talk to me and I could keep playing. And I'd be focusing on what they're saying and maybe answering back and not thinking too hard about what my next moves are. So I'm not advocating for playing this much or noodling, essentially, but I do think that being able to stop paying attention to what you're playing and just respond to what's happening outside of you is a step in the right direction. Now, the final thing I'd recommend today to improve your listening is perhaps a little heady, but I do think it's really effective and really worked for me. And it's this idea of playing what's not there, which means that whenever you're in a musical situation that's improvised, there's usually something happening that you can play off of that doesn't have to do with doubling it or reinforcing what's already happening. So if someone's laying down chords, you might think, oh, I'm listening, so I notice that there's chords happening, so maybe I'll do chords too, or I'll double the chords. But really, that just kind of smothers the part. So being able to think about what the opposite of chords would be. So if someone's playing chords in time, with strong attack, maybe a good complement to that would be some harmonics that are just flowing, and under that you have gong, 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 boom, boom, boom. So now you have this interplay of parts. You've added something. You haven't just reinforced what's already there. That's obvious. And what I do to generate this is I just think of the opposite. So something with a strong attack can be reinforced with something with a swelly kind of attack, or something that's really busy and harsh can be reinforced by something that's sparse and legato. So I'll often play this game either with myself or with a partner around. We'll just kind of bounce off like what the opposite would be. So I can demonstrate a little bit of that for you right now. So let's start with that harmonics idea. So to me, that's very there's space to that, but it's kind of in a specific register. So the next thing I might do is so here I'm kind of working with opposites, like kind of harsh, like attack sounds versus like soft bells. And that's a way you can start thinking a little bit more orchestrally and with a sense of instrumentation in mind, whether you're playing solo or with other people. And this kind of thing will really improve your listening because you're listening for things to add as opposed to like life preservers to cling to. It can feel like that sometimes when we don't know what to do. All right, thanks for watching, and I hope that was helpful for you today. I love talking about these kinds of topics, the ones that kind of fall through the cracks. So let me know if it was helpful for you. Leave a comment, subscribe, and I'll see you for the next one.